Logan, looking at the early enrollees, the transfers have come in through the portal. Give me the one player you want to see because you think he's going to be the most talented, and the one player you want to see because you think he has the most question marks right now.
The one I want to see, probably Azareye'h Thomas. I think probably him or Mccall. I think Thomas, though, is going to be one of the first guys, definitely when we get the tour of duty in a couple of weeks, to be able to identify that one young stud that looks like he's been here for a few years. I think Sam Mccall is just naturally gifted, but I think Thomas is maybe just a little bit more intriguing to me, at least to start off the spring. Really, I mean, these are two really talented defensive backs coming in. I just think Thomas was a big-time steal for Florida State. They'll find out about this. Fans will find out about this 8 months from now, whenever season gets close, and you're hearing a lot of things about him jumping up in the depth chart, but and hearing things during practice and camp and summer and possibly this spring. So I think Azareye'h Thomas is one that I'm definitely intrigued on seeing him develop.
The one you have the most question marks on?
The one that I had the most question marks on, I think I do have just natural question marks on, not saying that I don't think he's going to deliver or develop, is probably just Duffy. He went off and didn't get to have, didn't get to play the full season last year at IMG, was dealing with injury, reportedly, supposedly. And I'd like to see him more in person. This isn't just a thing of, boom, you're going to be a starter, or you're going to compete with Jordan Travis. It's going to be a Jordan Travis versus AJ Duffy show. He's still developing and learning to get down the system. It's going to go Jordan Travis, Tate Rodemaker, Gino English, and then AJ Duffy. You're a true freshman coming in, but eventually that is going to go up to where he can compete as a backup guy. But he's still, I want to see him develop. I want to see how he throws. I don't need to see the chemistry. He doesn't need to be doing all that, but I just want to see how his technique is on the field, footwork, because he is a blue chip quarterback coming in. We've heard a lot of good things about him. We've seen tape. We've seen him in 7-on-7s. We've seen tape on him a little bit at IMG, and I just want to see how his flow looks whenever we get into spring camp and get some eyes on him.
I'm going to stick with the transfers on this one. I think the one that I'm most excited to see is probably Johnny Wilson. I like the wide receiver coming in, transferring in from Arizona State. I like him because he came in, he was a 4-star recruit out of high school. He's that big target. And before you were born, Logan, there was, the guys like Andre Cooper. You saw a little bit with Greg Carr kind of the day of that big wide receiver, that big target that you could just throw it up to in the end zone, just reach up and grab it. He's 6'6". I like him at that point. The one I want to see, because I have the most questions about, is probably Tatum Bethune, the linebacker from UCF. Kid from South Florida transferred in. Not so much because I don't think he's talented. I think he's a very talented guy. My question is just, once again, the size factor. He's a linebacker. He's 6 foot linebacker. I'd like him a little bit taller, but I want to see how he can perform in a position that Florida State, quite frankly, has been in need of finding a superstar over the past, what would you say, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, no, I'm excited to watch Bethune too come in. I think he's going to play a big time role in that defense for Florida State because he's versatile. He can be everywhere. He can disrupt passes. He can cause interceptions. He can take the interception. I think Bethune is definitely one that I'm going to like watching, I think, immediately. And then another probably biggest question mark, if I'm picking a transfer, it's going to be Trey Benson from Oregon, the running back. We've heard a lot of things that he's got speed. He looks good out there on the field. I think I'm the number one person maybe here that I don't give a damn about how everybody's looking at tour of duty. I want to see pads get on, and definitely for a running back, I want to see how he can cut and get into live action. And that's great that things are going well in tour of duty and everything, but I really want to see how fully healthy he is. I don't doubt that Florida State staff didn't do their homework on him and wouldn't feel 110% comfortable with him coming in and giving him a scholarship and adding him to that depth chart in the running back room. But I'm really interested to see how he looks and how smooth he is. Because if he ends up being, a good addition, at least depth wise, and he can maybe take an advantage of being a third down back for Florida State's offense. I think it would be a nice shut up to Florida State's fan base that kind of had a meltdown once he picked Florida State.